Well, it's Sunday night here in Bangkok, or as I like to call it, the Big Funky Mango. No one else likes to call it that. And I've just been called a cunt in the comments section under a video for holding the views I hold about the Israel-Gaza situation. Well, that's fine. Won't stop me sleeping well tonight. If I hadn't spoken up about the obscenities that the world's seeing and that my government is backing, that would have stopped me, well, maybe not stopped me sleeping, that's an exaggeration, but I wouldn't want to let this sick nonsense go on without commenting on it, and I have done. And if people want to call me the C word, a stupid effer, whatever, I don't care, because right is right, wrong is wrong, and killing 10,000 children at least in 100 days who had nothing to do with the terrorist attack you suffered, Israel, can never be justified, okay? I'm sorry about what Hamas did to you on October the 7th, it's terrible, but a massacre cannot justify a genocide, an ethnic cleansing, alright? Two wrongs, which is one wrong, one big wrong and one enormous wrong. Those two wrongs cannot make a right, okay? What I will also say is, if you've tuned into my videos because you like what I say about Israel-Gaza, or if you subscribed, maybe think more about justice in the world regarding other aspects of life. For example, climate change is apparently coming down the pike at a great rate of knots. Don't believe me? We'll see how many temperature records fall this coming summer, after a whole bunch fell last summer. See how many forest fires there will be. Maybe started by arsonists, but if it weren't for the dry kindling conditions caused by climate change, these fires wouldn't spread as they do. So climate change is a real mamma jamma. It's coming down the pike and we better take it seriously. And the reason I mention that is because we're disgusted with the way the West is backing atrocities in Gaza, and how the West doesn't give an shit about the global south. Well, climate change, guess what? Climate change is going to affect people in the global south overwhelmingly, in Africa, in Asia where I live, especially the southern parts of Asia, in South America. It's going to affect a whole lot of people, even in southern Europe, but mainly people in the global south, okay? So if we care about what Israel is doing to Palestinians with the backing of the US, the UK, Germany, the Netherlands, etc., then let's care about what profligate first world lifestyles are going to do to people in the global south. Now, what can we do about this as individuals? Well, I don't drive, primarily because I failed my driving test twice at the age of 16 through nerves, and never took another driving test because I've lived in cities all my life. Wolverhampton, London, Bordeaux, Bangkok, Freiburg, Germany, places that had good public transport. And I don't think if you live in a place with good public transport, you should drive a car, because it fouls up the air, okay? Anyway, the point I'm making is, I guess if you do drive, I don't, but if you do, you can drive less. I get people coming to Bangkok all the time, and it's nice to see them, but flying long haul, given where we are environmentally, it's not the move really. Maybe don't do that. Holiday somewhere closer to home. I know Thailand needs the tourist dollar, but maybe people who live closer to Thailand can come here and spend those dollars or yen or renminbi or whatever, okay? Or Indian rupees or Indonesian rupees or whatever, okay? Don't fly all the way around the world until we have a better way of propelling big iron bird than burning kerosene. It's not a good thing to do. But more importantly than this, because as we know, big oil companies, politicians have told us it's about our individual carbon footprint, and it is, but it's also about electing the right people who care about this issue, and putting pressure on the Exxons, the Shells, the other big oil companies to mend their filthy, dirty ways and get into renewables. So, you know, I don't know, what can I do as an individual? What can you do? It feels like we can't do a lot in a world with like 8 billion people, but this is a serious issue, and we should do what we can, okay? You know the drill, drive less, fly less, eat less red meat. No crackpot. That doesn't mean I'm saying everybody should eat bugs or insects before you chime in with your conspiracy about the World Economic Forum. I'm not saying that, but let's all do our part, eh? As Gandhi said, be the change you want to see, blah blah blah. Yeah, each one teach one. Tell a friend about this issue, read about this issue. Don't just read the Rupert Murdoch press, the right-wing press that denies climate change. Look at what the IPCC are saying and the majority of climate scientists, okay? And then once you're convinced, talk about it with people. Nobody in the real world seems to talk about these things, you know. I guess we're all tied up in our lives, and I'm not. I'm unemployed. That's why I have time to care about all this stuff. But I guess, you know, I can understand people are busy working, trying to put food on the table, which is hard in these times of inflation. But, you know, find out about it. I don't know why I licked my lips there. That was weird. Find out about it. Talk to people about it. I think there's a stigma with men about talking about environmental issues. They see it as soft, sissy, not very masculine, to show that you care about things generally, but especially to show you care about the environment, that's seen as a bit woolly and woo-woo, and I don't know, not very macho or masculine. But who cares, man? Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. I'm 50. I look like this. Do I look like I care? I look like Shrek's pink cousin. I'm way beyond caring. When I was young, I had ginger hair, then I had no hair. If I cared, I wouldn't get up in the morning. If I cared what people thought about me, about Israel Gaza, if I cared about people calling me a CUNT, I wouldn't get up in the morning. If I cared about people judging me on the way I look, I wouldn't get up in the morning. And if I cared about people thinking I'm not very manly, or I'm a WEF shill or whatever for talking about climate change, you know, I wouldn't make the videos I'm making. But I don't care, and I am, and I do. So there you are. So talk about it, and also elect the right people. We got a bunch of elections coming up around the world. In America, please don't elect orange Mussolini, tangerine Mussolini. We don't need Trump back in power. If that puts you off my channel and you want to click off, unsubscribe, whatever, that's fine. But for as disgusting as Biden has been on the Israel Gaza thing, I'm not convinced Trump would have been any better, and in a whole bunch of other ways he'll be a lot worse. He's a climate change denier. He seems to be playing fast and loose with the idea of America staying a democracy. He's not a good man. So if you're American watching this, you know, hold your nose and vote for the lesser of two evils. If you're in Europe where there's elections, you know, vote for people who care about justice around the world, oppressed people being murdered, climate change, that sort of thing. And well, I'm coming up to 9 minutes now. Nobody watches these videos I make. People watch the shorts I make, but nobody watches these videos. One day, a video I make like this, which is just me with my big ham-like face standing in front of my open window letting in the mosquitoes because I've turned off the fan because it's noisy and I don't want to be too hot, and I'm making a video. Maybe one day one of these videos will get more than 2 views. I live in hope. But my hair will probably all grow back before that time. Anyway, if you stick around, you're going to hear me making a lot of self-deprecating jokes about being fat and bald and whatever. That's just the way I roll. It's an English thing. It's an English thing. I think it's endearing, but what do I know? Anyway, 9 minutes and something of waffle. Have a nice week ahead. Keep fighting the good fight. Thank you if you've commented under my videos. It's humbling. Saying thank you for speaking out. I don't suppose my videos make an iota of difference, but they make, I guess it's selfish, they make me feel better about myself, coming from a place with a government that supports such evils. It's a cry into the void. It's a way of venting. Hopefully it makes people in Palestine and other places feel seen and heard and cared about. Hopefully it triggers the right kind of nasty people. I've had people around the world in places like India and Muslim people, I don't know where, but their names were Muslim, say thank you. It's quite humbling, especially in the case of Indian people, given what we did, my country in India, to have Indian people thank me for speaking out about something. That's humbling, and I thank you. So yeah, I guess that's all I've got. Cheers from Bangkok.